We got another question from Insta. This one's actually a really good question.
Okay.
Daunter is asking, when management wants to take you under their wing, what are some red flags to look for?
Contracts.
Mm.
Nobody signs a contract in this day and age.
Oh.
Everything, I mean, me and all my friends that are, with big management companies and, high up managers, it's all verbal,
Oh.
signing it. Yeah, signing a contract is, in my opinion, the biggest red flag. Second red flag, um, having input on your music is always good. Constructive criticism, things like that. But changing your art for the benefit of like money or a trend is if your
Mm-hmm.
manager asks you to, change up everything that you love about your sound, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Um, and not getting you the stuff that they promised. A manager, you should be at the point in your career where you actually need one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A lot of people get one just because it sounds cool, but they're not doing anything for you. They should be actively working as hard as you are to make your career better, because that leads to more money for you and for them and opportunities and blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
What would you say is a common management percentage if you're
um I think 15 to 20 is pretty standard. I think 20 is about like the gold standard.
Mm-hmm.
But there might be a little fluctuation. Anything more is fucked up,
Yeah.
because it always comes off the gross. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
for business, say our fee is whatever, just ballpark number. Like I'll
Mm-hmm.
do something astronomical that's not real. Say it's like $50,000.
That's
You
not
know
your
what I mean?
fee? I'm
Nah,
just kidding.
I mean only in Denver.
Yeah.
But so it's like 50,000, and then your agent takes 10%, then your manager takes 20. Well, then they take that, you know, pre-expenses. So it
Mm-hmm.
really adds up quick. So that 20% is probably the most comfortable you'd want to go.
Yeah. And it's hard too for artists who are like small to mid range who are just getting put on tours, even because, like, I mean, I've heard of some tours only paying like 500-600 a stop. And then it's like, oh, there's flights and there's food and there's lodging. Like it just
That's
comes out of everyone's pocket.
that's all. I mean, that's the road we all took. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there was some tours that were really bad, some that were fine, but it really is just part of the growth process, because unfortunately, to like these promoters and stuff, you're based on you're a number on a spreadsheet,
Yeah.
and
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 I was telling
your
someone else,
ticket.
like, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, I was just gonna say your ticket sales really help dictate those numbers, and it takes a long time to climb the ladder, especially now. Like fuck, even 5 years ago when I started, it didn't feel as oversaturated, but not even in a bad way. There's a lot of really, really high level talent from these kids, but it takes a long time. I mean, I was still 2.5, 3 years into touring before I made it full time, just
Mm-hmm.
to, be able to pay my bills and stuff. So it's a long road.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an investment, basically. So
Yeah.
that's how you have to look at it.
Yeah. It's like an
Yeah.
What
intern. It's like an internship, but you're flying around and traveling the country, and
and doing
you
what
got
you
you got to
love.
spend money. Oh,
Yeah.
100%. You got to spend money to make it. So it's
Yeah.
just part of the process. We've all been
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, like, I feel like a lot of our friends who are artists are at the point where if they don't take the offer for $2,000, there's a line of 100 people who will. Or it's like, if
Right.
you don't want to take the offer that isn't quite what you're looking for, then 1,000 other people will take it. So it's kind of like you're up in between a rock and a hard place sometimes.
There is, and there's for a long time, we did just say yes to everything, because you're really
Mm-hmm.
just trying to build a profile with these cities and these people and these promoters. And, it wasn't until almost like the last, I don't know, maybe year and a half, maybe post COVID, where I was comfortable saying no to stuff, which actually felt good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt taking it back a little bit. I was like, all right, I don't have to do that show, and
Mm-hmm.
it's better for my mental health and all that stuff. But you got to grind. All those kids out there, man, you got to fucking grind it.
Yeah.
I agree. What would what would you say, like I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are on if artists who are, they're starting to gain some traction. What do you think about artists reaching out to management for potential management, or do you think artist managers should reach out to them and like seek them out? Like, should
Uh,
they seek out management or should they wait until someone picks them up? You know?
I think it doesn't hurt. I think it's more beneficial to have an agent at first,
Mm,
because the agent is the one that has more of the connections
yeah.
to these
Yeah.
promoters, and the agents are the ones that book the top tier acts, and then they can throw you on the bottom bill, the same shit we all do.
Yep.
But I don't think it's bad to reach out either way. Just be sure that you're ready for it. You know what I mean? If you can still handle everything, if you're at a place where you're just doing local or even regional, bookings, you can handle that shit. Don't start giving your money away until you're starting to get overwhelmed.
Hmm.
That's a
And I
good way to
feel
look at
like,
it.
yeah, the upcoming artists, sometimes it's like they need to be on all the emails anyways for awareness. It's like you're not even at a
Yeah.
point where you're big enough where you would need a manager. So why
Yeah.
give that share?
Yeah. I mean, I reached out at one point to a different agency. I had gotten accepted by them, and then a couple days later, an email came in from my current agent, and that was a better fit for me. But don't be afraid to reach out if you feel like it was time. And at that point, for me, it felt like do or die. Like if I can't start doing this professionally now and make some money, I was like 28 years old. I'm like, this either has to happen now or it's not going to happen. And I'm glad it stuck with it. But yeah,